This ordinary-looking coin has passed through millions of hands, spent on coffee, buses, and groceries. But what if I told you that this exact coin comes from one of the most important and unusual years in American coin history, a year when the US Mint didn't even make collector versions? Stay till the end, because this quarter hides a story most people completely ignore, and its value might surprise you. Introduction. The coin you think you know. At first glance, this coin looks simple. A silver-colored US quarter with George Washington's portrait facing left, the word Liberty across the top, In God We Trust on the left, and the year 1983 printed at the bottom. Most people would glance at it and think, just another quarter. But history doesn't always hide in gold or ancient artifacts. Sometimes history lives inside everyday objects, especially coins that circulated during moments of national transition, economic pressure, and political change. The 1983 Washington quarter belongs to a fascinating era in US monetary history. It was struck during a time of inflation recovery, technological change at the US Mint, and a shift in how Americans saved, spent, and collected money. The birth of the Washington quarter. To truly understand this coin, we must go back to 1932, when the Washington quarter was first introduced. It was created to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. Originally intended as a one-year commemorative coin, the design became so popular and symbolic that it replaced the standing Liberty quarter permanently. The portrait of George Washington was designed by John Flanagan, based on a sculpture by French artist Jean-Antoine Houdin. This design remained largely unchanged for decades, making it one of the most recognizable coins in American history. By 1983, this design had already been in circulation for over 50 years. Why 1983 is a special year? Here is where the story becomes truly important. In 1983, the US Mint did not produce official proof sets. This is a confirmed historical fact. Due to budget issues and internal policy decisions, the US Mint skipped proof coin production that year. Proof coins are specially struck, high-quality coins made for collectors. Their absence makes high-quality 1983 quarters much harder to find today, especially in mint or near-mint condition. This single decision instantly made uncirculated 1983 quarter scarcer than many other modern coins. Where this coin was made. The 1983 Washington quarter was produced at 2 US Mint locations. Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark. Denver Mint, D-mint mark. Your coin appears to have no mint mark, which means it was minted in Philadelphia. Philadelphia coins from 1983 are especially important because they were heavily circulated. Few were saved in perfect condition. No proof versions exist. Metal composition and technical details. This coin is not silver, and that's an important detail. This coin is not silver, and that's an important detail. Composition: 75% copper, 25% nickel. Weight: 5.67 grams. Diameter: 24.3 millimeters. Edge: reeded grooved. By 1983, the US had already removed silver from quarters. This happened in 1965. Still, these copper-nickel coins represent America's modern monetary system and mass circulation era. America in 1983, the historical context. The year 1983 was a turning point in US history. America was recovering from high inflation. Interest rates had recently peaked. The Cold War was still active. The US economy was shifting toward modern finance. Coins minted during this time circulated through a society under pressure but moving forward. Every quarter like this passed through countless hands: factory workers, office employees, soldiers, students, making it a silent witness to everyday American life. Why condition matters so much? Because no proof sets were made. Collectors today rely on circulation finds or mint state survivors. Here's the reality. Most 1983 quarters are one clean. Sharp examples are uncommon. Fully uncirculated coins are valuable. This makes grading extremely important. Real market value, no fake prices. Let's talk about real, verified market prices, not viral lies. Circulated condition. If your 1983 quarter shows wear value $0.25 to $0.5, basically face value. Lightly circulated AU. Some detail remaining value $1, $3. Uncirculated mint state. Sharp details. No wear value $5, $20. High grade Miss 65, Miss 67. Certified by PCGS or NGC. Value $50, $300 plus. Prices depend heavily on surface quality, luster, Strike sharpness, professional grading. Common errors to watch for. Some 1983 quarters carry real mint errors, which can drastically increase value. Off-center strikes, double die errors, clip planchets, broad strikes. Error coins can sell for $100 to $1,000 plus, depending on severity and condition. Why people miss valuable coins like this? Most people don't check dates, don't understand mint history, spend valuable coins unknowingly. The 1983 quarter is often ignored because it looks modern, but modern does not mean worthless. Collector insight. Serious collectors often say, scarcity isn't about age, it's about survival. And the 1983 Washington quarter survived in far fewer perfect examples than most people realize. As the 1983 Washington quarter continued its silent journey through American hands, something unusual began to happen, something most people never noticed. While millions of these quarters were being spent every day, almost no one was saving them. Collectors were focused on older silver coins, rare gold pieces, and flashy commemoratives. Modern quarters like this one were ignored, dismissed as ordinary, disposable money. This lack of attention created a quiet phenomenon in the background: attrition. Year after year, these coins were scratched, worn down, damaged, or completely removed from circulation. Vending machines rejected them, banks replaced them, and many were melted or destroyed. What remained were mostly heavily used examples, stripped of their original shine. Clean survivors became increasingly rare without anyone realizing it. By the late 1990s, professional grading companies such as PCGS and NGC began noticing something strange. While older coins were easy to find in high grades, 1983 quarters in true mint state were unexpectedly scarce. Collectors attempting to build complete Washington quarter sets suddenly hit a wall. They could not easily locate pristine examples from this year. This discovery quietly changed the coin's reputation. As interest grew, researchers traced the reason back to the same decision made decades earlier. No proof sets in 1983 without collectors pulling fresh coins from mint packaging. Nearly all surviving examples had been exposed to years of circulation. This made high-grade pieces not just desirable, but genuinely difficult to obtain. Auction records slowly reflected this reality. Coins once worth face value began appearing in certified holders with grades like Miss 65 and Miss 66, commanding prices that surprised even experienced collectors. The market wasn't driven by hype, it was driven by supply and survival. Another layer of intrigue emerged when minting quality from that year was analyzed more closely. The US Mint in the early 1980 seconds was operating under cost-cutting measures. Dies were used longer, quality control was less strict, and production speed mattered more than perfection. As a result, many 1983 quarters show weak strikes, flat details, and imperfect rims. This makes well-struck examples even more elusive. Collectors began paying attention to small details: Washington's hair curls, the sharpness of the eagle's feathers on the reverse, the clarity of Liberty. Coins that displayed full detail were no longer common finds. They became standouts. Then came the error discoveries. Some 1983 quarters revealed genuine mint errors of center strikes, doubled elements, created during the minting process itself. These were not damages caused by use, but flaws born at the mint. Certified error coins started appearing in specialized auctions, sometimes selling for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on rarity and condition. What made these errors especially compelling was the era they came from, a time when quality shortcuts increased the chance of mistakes slipping through unnoticed. By the early 2000s, serious collectors had fully re-evaluated the 1983 Washington quarter. It was no longer just a modern coin. It became a key date for high-grade set builders, not because it was old, but because it was hard to find in the condition collectors demanded. History doesn't always announce itself with gold and silver. Sometimes it hides inside ordinary coins, waiting for the moment someone finally looks closer. And when that moment comes, what once seemed common suddenly becomes unforgettable.